Hi there, I am the Explicit Empress. I am an emotional and spiritual health advisor who does birth chart analysis as well as astrological counseling and a number of other spiritual and emotional services, all available on my website if you are interested. We are here today to talk about the idea of manifesting. Now, manifesting is a word that people throw around a lot in the spiritual community, but outside of the spiritual community, people would call it setting goals and being accountable. In a recent video I put up about the Scorpio new moon energy and how we could use it for manifesting, I talked about setting New Year's resolutions. Now, why am I talking about that in November? Well, there's a number of reasons. One of which are these cycles that we closed out with the Scorpio new moon, which check out my video if you are interested. And the other is because we are about to have the first full moon since that eclipse cycle closed out, and it is going to allow us the energy to clear out the space as we meet our shadow twin. So have a look at that video as well if you're interested in what tonight's Gemini full moon is offering us. But for now, let's talk about manifesting. Now, there are many different ways that people look at this idea, from making moon water on a full moon and doing a witchy ritual around it, to simply writing a list of goals that they keep to daily and simply telling themselves in the mirror what they want. All the different ways from the feminine energy of emotion, intuition, and using spirituality to the masculine energy of just getting it done with focus and hard work. Whatever way works for you, works for you. But today, let's look at it through the feet in the sand, grounded Virgo sun of mine, mixed with the emotional depths of my Scorpio moon and the I don't care about my weirdness and how it looks to you filter of my Aquarius ascendant. So the main idea of manifesting can be as grounded or as spiritual as you like, because it is about being able to see, feel, taste, and experience your goal at such an intense level, it becomes possible for you to see it as coming true. And not only coming true, but that in your mind, your third eye, your connection with the spirit of the depths, that it is already true. And that you, in this current space, in this current body, experiencing the spirit of the times, are just on your way to the goal. Now, why does that work? Well, because in this life that these bodies we have walk through, we collect so many filters. Filters of failure, fear, negative thought patterns, all of which stop us from truly believing that we can make change, that we can have these things that we dream of. So whether you believe in the spiritual realm, which in my world is a very real and very true thing, or you do not, you can still use manifestation ideas to bring your dreams into reality. Now, this is not just about writing a note to God or the universe and asking for a new car and then going about your life. This is about seeing that new car as something you already have. And then every day manifesting or working toward that new car. Because if we act as if that car is already ours, we will be more enthusiastic and motivated to do what needs to be done daily to be able to get in that car of ours and drive it, versus if we look at it as just an unattainable dream. Because that mentality is a scarcity mentality, and all that breeds is more scarcity. So I'm going to be talking about manifesting using universal energy, because that is the ancient wisdom and astronomy facts, as far as I'm concerned, that these ideas and tips will work for, whether you acknowledge you hold inside yourself a shared part of the divine spark of the universe or not. Cycles are very helpful for manifestation. Timetables, ways to stay accountable. And when we look at some cycles for manifesting, we can look at the universal energy and our birth chart, which I am going to do a part 2 to this video, which will focus in on those things and be a little bit more spiritual. But for now, let me just explain why cycles and what cycles we need to use. And these can exist without the spiritual component, but I hope they give you a really good example of the sort of cycle accountability we need to be looking at. So, the first one and the best one, and the one that all spiritual practitioners will use, is the moon. Now, she has a number of cycles that give us a timeline to check in and to focus. So, let's look at some. The new moon phase. This is when the moon is dark. It is the beginning of a cycle, and just like we plant seeds in the darkness of soil for them to later grow, so too can we use this cycle of the moon as a reminder to set intentional manifestations or goals for our future. New moon energy offers us a new start to whatever flavor that moon is. And this is the time when you want to start writing down, drawing, meditating in a bath, sitting on a beach, taking time to sit somewhere quiet with yourself and think about and focus on what your future goals are or what seeds you want to be planting. The waxing crescent moon phase. So this is 3.5 to 7 days after the new moon. And it's that time of exploring your dreams or your goals that you came up with during the new moon. And it is a time to think about what is possible within the realm of your goal and to really hone in on a direct manifestation idea. As the moon starts to gain light, so too can your desires and your ideas. Then we see the first quarter moon. Now this is 7 to 10.5 days after the new moon. And this is the time when we start needing to commit to the goal or the manifestation. Now quarter moon energy often brings up doubts and tests in relation to what we want to achieve and to the plans that we thought we were starting to make. But these are just so that we can question the idea from a more objective point of view, so that we can see whether or not and how it is grounded in reality in a way that we can then take daily steps towards. So you may need to reimagine or re-visualize your manifestations or ideas during this phase. The next phase is the gibbous moon phase. This is 10.5 to 15 days after the new moon. And this is where we focus on staying the course. This is when we need to start noticing whether our ego or our fear of failure tries to come in here and spoil our plans. And we need to start focusing on the growing light and the growing potential of this idea, which helps us stay the course. And it also helps us light up any small things that need to be tweaked. Then we get to the full moon phase. Now this is 10.5 to 15 days after the new moon. And this is where the focus is on staying the course. And full moons, being at their brightest, will also light up anything we may have missed about this goal and show us what it is we can start focusing on in the next new moon phase. This is also where we need to reflect on the work that we have done, on the way we have worked through these thoughts and put them into a manifestation idea, and really look at the past month of our life, so from one full moon until the next full moon, and be in a state of gratitude for where we presently are, for everything we presently have and all of the effort we have watched ourselves put in. Also, by knowing the sign, the zodiac sign placement in the sky where the moon is, you can really make changes to the goal based on the energy we are being supported with. And this is also where you may see the results of goals you have set at the new moon counterpart to this full moon about 6 months earlier. I'll get to that in a minute. The waning gibbous moon phase comes next, and this is 3.5 to 7 days after the full moon. And it's the relax and breathe phase. This is the phase we use to see where we're at now that we've had it lit up by the full moon. So this is either with our current manifestations, or the one from 6 months earlier that we may see did not come to light. We need to allow any emotions that come up about whether or not we achieve those goals, and we just need to let them flow through us so that we may experience them, and then we can regroup. Then we see the third or the last quarter moon phase, which is 7 to 10.5 days after the full moon. And it is the what did I learn phase. And we look at this, what didn't work, what did work. Where didn't we take daily action? Do we need to reorientate or rebalance the plan? And if we feel like we need to change course, this is when we can do so. This is also a great time to look at any bad habits that may have been holding us back or got in the way of taking these daily steps toward our goal. Then we see the balsamic moon phase, which is 10.5 days after the full moon, and it is the releasing phase. This is where we take everything that we saw come up with that full moon, any ideas, any manifestations we no longer want to be focusing on, and we release them. We can rid ourselves of these bad habits, of any negative self-talk that came up that we found on the path that no longer serves us, and we can return to a moment of consciousness in the present to regroup as we move into the next new moon phase to see what next seeds need to be planted toward our goal. So that is just 1 month worth of the moon cycle. That works as a very good timetable, a very good calendar to revisit and check in with how you are going with your goals. The other moon cycles that we can use are the new moon, full moon, moon cycles. So the new moon and its matching counterpart, the full moon, are the beginning and the end of that energy cycle. So the Gemini new moon, for example, was June 18th, and the Gemini full moon is November 27th. So this is where we can see the energy surrounding that, the new moon returning or culminating, and it's usually where we start to see the manifestations appearing that we focused on during that new moon phase. Had we been working toward it on a daily habit basis, okay? Staying accountable. The other moon cycle is the moon eclipse cycles, and which is in close relation to the movement of the north and south node cycles. So these eclipse cycles, which work with the north and south node, are huge turning points in manifestations and journeys toward our destined goal. And they bring about steps in which we are often thrown into our destined path or redirected onto our destined path by huge, fated, and usually unexpected events. And they work with the north and south nodes, which are about an 18 to 24 month cycle. So both the new moon and the eclipse cycles are flavored by the themes within the zodiacs they inhabit during those times, and they can offer you insights into what you should be focusing on, what you can change and manifest based on that energy. And that energy also supports your individual birth chart energy. There are other planets that we can use the cycles of to also track our manifestations and work towards our goals, one of which is Mars. Mars on a birth chart is representative of masculine energy themes. So how we take action, how we take our initiation, how we best move forward and work toward a goal. So Mars is a very important planet to take into account when we are focusing on moving into a new space. Now, Mars takes about 687 days to orbit the Earth, which is about 22.5 months. And as its cycle runs through the zodiac energy, it goes in and out of retrograde. So it goes forward and slows us down, all of which play a huge part in how we move forward and reevaluate our goals. For example, Mars in Libra would help us look at the balance in relationships and how that is helping us move toward a goal. Whereas Mars in Sagittarius will light a fire under those goals and have us being more adventurous towards moving forward. So even if you do not know the astrology, again, these energies and the way we can refocus the way we are looking at our goals through these cycles of energy is very helpful for being able to reevaluate and to revise anything that needs to be revised. They're also very helpful to notice when we are in a particularly passive stage. For example, when Mars is in a sign like Cancer, we tend to be more passive towards achieving goals. And knowing these themes and these cycles that we can go through offers us an opportunity to be a little bit less judgmental towards the way that we are achieving what we wanted to achieve. Now, the other planet that is also very helpful in tracking our manifestation cycles is Mercury. And everybody's heard of Mercury retrograde, whether or not you are spiritual or not. Now, Mercury represents communication, technology, and the giving and receiving of information in a birth chart, as well as a number of other things. Now, he takes about 88 days to orbit the Earth and goes in and out of retrograde about 3 times a year, which helps us revise parts of our lives in relation to the Mercury themes. Now, these are both very helpful check-in phases, okay? Now, both Mars and Mercury energy, like the moon, is not only changeable with the way they move through the zodiac energies, but also they are very subjective to your birth chart. So what you are manifesting, what house that sits in on your birth chart, what energy looks after that house, and where your discipline energy is, all of these things are very helpful tools in being able to focus towards your manifestation. And all of these things can be found in a birth chart analysis or an astrological counseling session. And if you are interested, please check out my website where I offer those services. So the point of going through these particular cycles with the moon and Mars and Mercury is simply to say that you need a cycle of accountability when you are heading toward a goal or manifesting a new dream. So whether or not you use the moon, whether you care about Mercury retrograde, you need something. Whether that's setting up notes in a calendar to periodically check, you need something to hold you accountable. Why not use the moon? It already has a cycle, it already has a map, somebody's already written it out on the internet for you. All you need to do is add it to your calendar. Or you can follow along on my weekly astro weather and see what's going on. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you can keep up to date on those things, or also subscribe to my social media. That would also be very helpful. Okay, so we've talked about cycles and needing to have one in order to best move forward and stay accountable toward our goal. So what now? Well, let's look at some steps. Now, one of the most important parts of manifesting a new goal, of turning a dream into reality or working towards something new, is being direct, okay? So simply saying, I want a new car, it's not going to cut it, okay? Your mind, your mental state, your emotional and spiritual state is not going to hold on to that. It's not going to believe that that's real. People talk like that all the time. Now, the idea of manifestation is to get deep with what you want. So I'm talking about, if you want a new car, do the research. Do the research. What car do you want? What color would you choose? What would the interior be? How would that feel when you sat in it? How would that smell when you sat in it? How would your hand feel when you turned the key for the first time? What noise would it make? How would that click sound when your seatbelt slid in? Those are the sort of depth of imagination you need when you are manifesting. You can go as far as looking up places that sell the car, where you could go to test drive it, where you would take it on its first road trip. You can even go and test drive it. That is an excellent way to manifest a new car. Okay, so you need to sit and think about these things when you are manifesting. Not just let them float through, not just write them down one time, not just say it out loud, I want a new car, okay? You need to create a space in your mind where you can see, hear, feel, and taste the new car on all of your physical body and in your spiritual and emotional state, okay? In the dream space. And that is where you plant the idea. That is where the seed gets planted, in the depths of your subconscious, because on a present level, in your conscious, in your present day life, you've taken the time to experience the new car as if it was already yours. And then you're planting that seed into your subconscious because all of your senses have been involved in choosing what seed to plant. This is where you send that idea not only to yourself, to your authentic self, to that spark of divine spirit, also to the universe, to the energy of the universe. Then, this is where the cycle comes in. After you've planted that seed, you need to revisit it daily. Just like you plant a seed and you water it, you need to have accountability steps that work you toward noticing if you are staying on track or not. You need a daily point of contact. You need a weekly, monthly, fortnightly check-in to keep it fresh in your mind. Don't just write it in a journal and put your journal away until next month. That is going to get you nowhere. You need to have daily reminders that cause you to think about it. You need to have daily moments where if it's a new car, I'm going to keep using this one. If it's a new car, you want to take a minute, do that research daily. Today, I'm going to go through the different colors. Today, I'm going to look up 3 places where I could go for a test drive. Today, I'm going to look up how to review. Like, look up some reviews of the car. Okay, you want to be doing something daily, even if it's simply, okay, while I'm having my morning coffee, I'm going to sit and imagine, what interior do I want? Do I want the leather? Do I just want the fabric? What would be the pros and cons of each? Take a moment, imagine the car is yours. How did you choose that car? You need to be doing this on a regular basis to remind you, okay? To remind you of it. So use your daily habits, use your daily routine. If you want, write on your mirror every day when you're in there brushing your teeth. Think about the goal. Write your goal on there. Think about it while you're brushing your teeth every day. Something like that works very well for keeping the manifestation fresh in your mind. This also comes about having something that reminds you to think about it, whether that's a piece of jewelry that you bought or that you were wearing when you set the intention, or something like a vision board, which I'll get into in a bit, because that is one of the best ways to manifest, particularly these New Year's resolution ideas. Okay, so checking in periodically. The cycle is so important. So whether you're doing it spiritually or whether you're doing it with just some notes in your calendar or some words that you wrote on your mirror, you need to have some periodic check-ins. You need to have something where you can revise, because sometimes, we set this goal and then within the 6 months that we are looking to achieve it, or within the 18 or 24 months that we are looking to achieve it, it can change and evolve depending on our experience in the present day. So you need to have a check-in not only to keep it fresh in your mind, but to revise it if it needs to be revised. Because a manifestation or a goal that has evolved and we haven't grasped onto it and taken the second to shift it into the realm that we now need it in, we are going to forget about it and we are not going to take these daily steps. Now, step 3 is a very interesting one, but I think it's very important. Don't attach to the how or the when, because we need to live in the present, okay? So when we attach to an outcome, whether that's I'm going to have it on this day, I'm going to have it exactly like this, when we set it in stone, it doesn't allow us to go with the flow of our energy or go with the flow of the universal energy, which changes a lot, okay? So let's think about wanting to buy a bigger house, okay? So if we attach to this idea by imagining, okay, I want to buy a bigger house, so I need to get a promotion, then I need to get paid this much money, then I need to work for this long to get paid this much money, and then I will be able to buy the house, and then I'm going to look at this time and I'm going to look for this exact type of thing. When we do that, we close our minds off to other options that may present themselves, and we make it very hard for not only the changing of the energies in our daily space, in our daily body, but we also make it really hard for the energy of the universe to provide us the manifestation, the goal, the dream, because we only see one option to achieving it. And this makes us very close-minded, because there are options that we can't think of. We cannot think of every single way forward to achieving the goal. And by attaching to the method, we are really putting a blocker up on how we can achieve it. If you imagine living in a house and feeling it and smelling the dinner cooking and the warmth of the fire, and we're imagining these things about the house, an offer, and then maybe this means a job offer comes in from someone that you hadn't thought of, or maybe you have an offer to move interstate. Maybe you have an offer to move internationally. Maybe a long lost relative you've never heard of passes away and gives you their castle in the hills. If we are attached to this one way of doing things, this I need to get a promotion, to this pay, to get this amount of money, we are only focused on that. And we are closed-minded to any other opportunities that might come past us that would also help us achieve this goal. So that is the idea of planting the seed in the ground, in the darkness, really focusing in on what it is, what that is, but then just watering it daily and trusting today I'm watering the goal in this way. Today I'm watering the goal in this way. Oh, it's been raining. I don't need to water it today, but it does need to make sure it's got a little bit more sun. Focusing on the daily tasks, not that complete plan of how you're going to get there. And if we attach to how we allow no alternatives, then that's the only path the universe thinks we can follow. And it could potentially make that goal unachievable, or at the very least, take a really long time to come about. So unattaching from the how and the exact when, because the universe, and I don't know if you're spiritual or not, but time's not real. You know that by how quickly time passes, and sometimes how slowly time passes if you're doing something you don't want to be doing. Time doesn't exist as a linear, and if we start thinking about our goals and attaching to them in such ways, we are closing our mind. We might say, oh, I'm going to achieve buying this new house with a promotion. I'm going to have it in December 2026. What if an opportunity comes up to get you that house in 2024 and you don't see it because all you're focused on is 2026? Unattached from those things, trust the process and enjoy the present day. Be grateful for it and water those seeds. Keep to your cycles. Only check in when you need to check in, okay? Now, vision boards. Now, the reason vision boards work is because creating them takes you down a creative process. You are finding pictures that explain your feelings, or words that are explaining your feelings towards it, and we are attaching words and pictures to these goals, to the emotions they bring up, and it activates a number of parts of our brain that then again help us stay focused. And then we have a reminder, a physical reminder that we can look at regularly in order to see what we're working towards, in order to choose a part to focus on, and in order to revisit and reevaluate should we need to. So there are some ways to make these vision boards, and I am going to pop one up here for you to have a look at, and let's run through it. So in the middle, we see you, okay? So this is where you want to put a photo of you, something that will remind you what energy you want to be in when you're achieving these goals, what focus you want to be in, what mood you want to be in. Try and find a photo of you that you are happy, that you are at peace in this present moment, where you look like you're grateful for the things that you currently have. Then we see the wealth and prosperity section. Now, in this section, you want to think of a number in a bank account. You want to think of the sort of house you want to live in. You want to think about how successful you want to be. You can think about themes that have wealth and prosperity, and you want to find a picture or two or some words that show meaning to what you want to achieve. So we're looking at this vision board as a 2024 vision board, okay? So what you want to achieve in 2024, not just picking one goal. Right? We want to look at all of these aspects of our life and see what we want to look at changing. We can focus in on specific ones. Again, we can do that with the moon energy. We can do that subjective to our birth charts if you want to go that deeply. Otherwise, you can just have them up there and see which ones you want to be focusing on a daily or weekly basis. Then we look at the next part, which is the fame and recognition section. So this is just about how you want to be recognized. Is it getting up on stage and receiving an award? Is it being promoted to boss? Is it running your own business? Okay. You want to put a picture of that trophy on there. All right. You want to put a picture of the logo of the business you want to open. This is the sort of thing you want to put in on your fame and recognition. Things you want to be recognized for, things that you want to be known for in your community or the greater collective. Then in the love and relationship section, what sort of a relationship are you looking for? How do you want to feel in that relationship in 2024? Are you hoping to get married? Are you hoping to find fun people to date? Are you hoping to move towards, let's have a collective family relationship? Let's have, do I want two partners? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want when it comes to partner connections, to close love connections, or to close, fun dating connections? What do you want? Find a picture or some words that show the way that you want to feel in these spaces. Next up, we have family and community. Do you want to spend more time with your family? Which parts of your family? Do you want to spend more time with your parents, with your grandparents, with your kids? Do you want to do activities with them? Do you want to start a community? Put pictures in here that make you think of what you want that to look like. What activities you might want to do with your family. If you've got past pictures where you spent some time together, you want more family together, put those pictures in there, okay? And then we get to the children, inner child, and fun section. Now, this is the pleasure section. This is what do you want to do for fun, What do you want to do? Do you want to go skydiving? Put that picture in there. Do you want to go race a fast car down a track? Put that picture in there, okay? Do you want to have children? Do you want to work with your own inner child? Put pictures in here that remind you of these feelings, okay? Then we get to the health and well-being section. Now, how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel on a daily basis? How do you want to feel when you've achieved these goals? Do you need to focus on eating better, on your physical health? Do you need to start doing yoga? Do you want to start a spiritual journey and work on meditating? Do you want to start an emotional health journey and start doing some deep introspection? Put some pictures or words in this section that show what you would like to achieve in relation to your health and well-being in 2024. Then your life journey and career path. This is more long-term sorts of goals. So this is what do you want your career to look like? What do you want your career to end up looking like? How do you want your life journey to feel next year? Do you want it to feel adventurous? Do you want it to feel secure? Do you want it to take you traveling to different parts of the world? How do you want your life journey and career to go in 2024? Put pictures in here that remind you of that. And then travel. This one speaks for itself. Where do you want to travel? Do you want to do some local travel? Do you want to do some international travel? Do you want to be traveling constantly? Do you want to always be on a plane? Do you want to do it in a boat? Do you want to do it in a train? Do you want to do a road trip? Put some pictures in here that show you how you want to be traveling. If you want to be traveling, put these pictures in here. Now, you can put this vision board as the background to your phone. You can print it out and put it on your bathroom mirror. You can put it in your wardrobe where you go in to choose your clothing every day. But you want to try and put it somewhere where you are looking at it at least once a day. And each time you see it, try and spend a minute in at least one of those spaces in a manifestation, a dream, or a goal, and really try and imagine. So if it's traveling somewhere, if that's the one that you've gotten up and looked at that morning, then think about what the first thing is you'll do when you get to that destination. Are you going to take a friend? What would be the first thing you packed? Take a moment to dream. Take a moment in imagination to imagine what it's like when you have that goal, because it's already yours and you're just on a journey toward it. Now, another really fun way, which can be sometimes for people that can actually put you into a bad space. So if that's you, then this part's not for you. But if you are someone with a huge imagination who likes to think of out of the box things, then some of these tips might be for you. I do enjoy them myself. I find them quite fun. And I call it delusional dreaming. Now, this is great when you are trying to manifest abundance or things that people think are delusional, okay? So, wanting to be famous, for example, your family might think that's delusional, right? Wanting to have a Ferrari, wanting to have abundance in everything, all right? Wanting to have all of these things that the greater collective or even just your social communities or your family communities might see as delusional. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about delusional dreaming. This is allowing yourself to feel what it is like to have these huge dreams come true as if they are already real. So, this is like sitting down once a week and doing the dream world budget. So, this is thinking about a number that you want to be making on a weekly basis and doing a budget for it. And not thinking about, don't sit down and do it how you do your normal budget. You don't want to be sitting there going, this is for rent, this is for bills. You don't want to do that. The delusional dreaming budget, the dream space budget, is for fun, is for pleasure, is for experiencing the world, is for learning new things that you're interested in. It is for things that feed your soul, not things for the capitalist world, okay? It is things that your inner child would do with the dream space budget, okay? Focusing on the fun and the pleasure and write it out. If you're saying, I'm going to be earning $10,000 a week, how are you going to spend that $10,000 a week? How many holidays are you planning on having that year? How many times will you go to Europe? Plan your budget. How much will you have to save to go to Europe at least once or twice a year? How much will you have to save to be able to go somewhere warmer in the winter months? This is how you do the dream space budget, okay? Because it is about staying in a positive mindset and allowing yourself to accept that you are capable of achieving these things that people tell you are delusional, okay? And in this making it fun, we get to stay in a really happy mindset, and a positive mindset gets reflected back to you in a positive way. And if you have got a friend that you can talk about these big dreams with, these dream space things with, that is even better. Make a time once a fortnight, once a month if you need to, and just excite each other and get enthusiastic about your lives when you are living these dream space delusional places in your life. Share your budget with them. Plan a holiday with them. Really allow yourself, particularly if you are someone who has lived in a scarcity mentality, who has never allowed yourself the opportunity to think about having fun with money, to think about what you would do if paying your bills was not your daily survival mechanism, okay? This is really great for you. You need to stay in a positive mindset and you need to understand that you are capable of achieving everything. And to do that, it's really fun to start doing these sorts of things. Because with this intentional planning and checking in with your manifestations and goals, we are able to stay accountable and focused. The universe has energy there that is there to support us, but it only rewards and mirrors back to us the effort and the energy that we put out. So we need to release control over the how, over the exact when, and we need to stop counting the time past and focus on being in the present, being in gratitude for how far we've come, being in gratitude for what we currently have. We need to plant the seed and nurture it, not plant the seed and count the days until it sprouts out of the ground. Because the packet said 12 weeks and now it's been 11 weeks and 6 days and it hasn't popped up yet. We need to trust that it is already ours and that we are just on a journey to getting it. And we need to enjoy that journey every day, being present, being grateful. And in doing so, and with our cycles of checking in for accountability and allowing ourselves space to revise if we need, we will be able to achieve unimaginable things. So if you would like a birth chart reading or some astrological counseling to help you with this, to help you focus these energies in, we can even look at your north and south node and where your best aligned purpose could be. And we can help you focus in on the energies that are supporting you to move forward in your goals. I will be doing a part 2 to this video that will be a little bit more spiritually focused about how to use your birth chart and the universal energy to help you with these manifestations. And if you are interested in any more of my astrological information, you can check out my other videos on YouTube and also on my social media, where I often do post up daily advice for you. So thanks for sticking with me. I hope this was really helpful, and good luck towards your manifestations. I believe all of the things you want are already yours, so long as they align with your true, authentic self and purpose. And until you see my face again, as always, stay weird.